Hello! Welcome to another player profile and projection. This time we are doing Gleyber Torres, the second baseman of your New York Yankees. How about that? It's brought to you by the Warehouse Games YouTube channel, where we play games in a warehouse, give away prizes to subscribers, and a lot of fun content. So go check that out. Jake, Gleyber Torres, not the shortstop. He is the second baseman. Full-time second baseman? Don't know, because DJ is a Gold Glover over there and locked up for more money. At one point this offseason, we thought Gleyber was probably going to get traded. I don't think he's going to get traded anymore. His spring training is lulling me into a place of excitement. Where are you on Gleyber right now?
This is one of the big ones, Jim. This is one, sometimes I like to put myself in the shoes. I'd be a humble electrical supply salesman in Denver tuning into UNBBD on Talkin Yanks, and I'd be like, oh, let me hear this Gleyber rep. Because, dude, it's a pivot year. We will find out. Like you said, the Yankees have an extra infield body. Gleyber's been getting some run at shortstop this year, and he's been quoted as the backup shortstop. So, like, I think there's going to be days when we see Gleyber Torres as the Yankees shortstop this year, which I think some fans, that probably makes him a little nervous, because it seemingly was in his head and he was not a competent shortstop last year.
Yeah, I'm a guy that, like, I hurt inside when I hear you say it as if it's, like, real. Like, in my heart, like, that can't happen. Like, you cannot do that. I mean, if you're the Yankees, you publicly said, we have no faith in this guy at shortstop. And once you do that to a player, you can never put them back there. It's not like a new guy came over and you were like, hey, let's just try this. This guy's better than you, Gleyber, so you're going to slide over. It's like, they had no one. They took the third baseman, they took Squid, and played him at short. Like, they publicly were like, we think you are not good at short, and we will play anyone else we can play. So for them to go put him back there is, I just think, messing with him. I think it's mean and rude. Just let him excel where you believe he can excel. So I hope they don't do that.
And, man, maybe that's part of the reason that this offseason still feels a little off-putting, because even if DJ's in that super utility role that he was originally brought into, you're right. Like, is this a Gleyber Torres solution? I do think, if we had to bet, I think we have him as the opening day second baseman. And, man, Jim, I went through the stats page. I went through the splits. There's obviously some funky numbers there. As a second baseman, it was only 19 games, so let's not go nut job. But he hit 300 with a 372 on base and an 815 OPS. That's really good. At the shortstop position last year, he was 251, 319, a 671 OPS. Not as good. Is there some sample size stuff? Sure. But Gleyber Torres, and I think the other thing that has us roped in, Jim, the spring training's nice, but we don't really believe in spring training. Sometimes there's tidbits. He's hitting the ball a lot. That's good.
He looks like lively and not lethargic, which is something that you kind of worry about with Gleyber, which is like a rude radio take, but sometimes it looks like he's going through the motions. He looks like strong.
Like, Gleyber should still be the annoying little brother on this team. Like, he should be too hyper.
Yes.
Like, he should be, like, when he comes near Stanton should be like, I don't have time for this today. Like, get out of here. Instead, it's like, he's part of, like, the old man Yankees almost sometimes. The other thing that roped us in is that Gleyber, the second half of the year, I mean, from July on, was 281, 338, 771. Now, for some people, that probably doesn't jump off the page. For a middle infielder, and especially the way the Yankees hit last year, those numbers aren't bad. Those numbers aren't bad. So there's a path for Gleyber, an easy path. It's pretty easy to see. He's 25 years old. He's a new dad. Important.
I'm happy for him there. We should send him some onesies.
That is important. We'll send him some swag. And it's very interesting to see, where is he slotted in the lineup? Is it the everyday second baseman? What else is going on with Gleyber Torres? How does the defense look at second? We assume it should be solid. He looks more comfortable there. I think it's the throwing arm. Any arm from second base, he has a plus throwing arm. Some of the throws from shortstop, he does not have a plus throwing arm. So Gleyber Torres is one of the pivot points of this Yankee season. I think Jakey optimist, like we could be talking about like, Gleyber Torres is back. He's a guy that's competing to be an AL All-Star at second base, and he is a really talented young baseball player. Or we could see him and be like, what the heck happened to this guy? I mean, hey, look at what just happened to Gary Sanchez. Baseball moves quickly. And no one should be rooting for Gleyber to be a part of that. Baseball's quick movements. But man, a hot start would be huge. Like, good juice from Gleyber.
This is, for Gleyber, a huge year because, okay, what are some of the storylines, true or not true, that we've run into with Gleyber? One, he doesn't like hitting up in the order. He likes being in the back of the order where he doesn't have to carry the offense or provide the pop or blah, 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 blah.
Can I say one thing on that?
Yeah.
And it's something I still do believe in. This year for Gleyber, we've already talked about, we're going to talk about it more. I think Gleyber Torres can be a top of the lineup hitter. I don't think Gleyber should have ever been a 4-5 guy. Like, as this Yankee team
1,
develops,
2, 5,
like
6.
Gleyber could
1,
be
2, 6, 7.
Gleyber Torres, if he's the guy that he's like his career numbers, 268, 338, 794. If he's around there or a little better, like that guy could be an up of the lineup guy, but the power and the 4-hole stuff, like that's got to be gone.
Well, so he's going to be lower in the lineup because they got a lot of guys now. I mean, what do we have in pencil in? It's like the 7?
6, 7-ish, yeah.
He's not a shortstop. He couldn't, like you said, the arm, a lot of it was the timing. Like he needs that pump that he does at second. Like he does that, and then he throws it. And at short, you can't do that. You just have to get it and fire it.
Throw it.
And you saw him like sail him a lot. And so you're playing a position, you're playing second base. You're good at second base. You're going to be lower in the lineup. No one's expecting anything out of you, really, because you've already kind of dampened expectations. So I feel like this is what the perceived recipe for success is. He's getting now. Like the Yankees are putting him in a good spot. Now they have DJ rotating with him, and maybe that's a little nerve-wracking. He had an awful start to the year. Awful start to the year last year. He came back from the All-Star break and was a man on fire. It was really, really fun to watch Gleyber Torres play from July 17th until he got hurt on August 8th. We were at that game when he got hurt sliding. In that stretch, 316 batting average, 879 OPS. He had 3 home runs. I mean, it's 20 games. He stole 6 bases. He took the extra base a bunch. Yeah. He was playing completely different. It was like someone told him, hey, first half of the season's over. You're not going to make up for it. Just have a good second half. And he took it to heart, and then he got hurt. He comes back. He has a decent September. Like, it's not a bad September at all. It's 277, or it's a good September. Solid September. Yeah, it's 280 batting average. That's good. 339 on base, 420 slugging, 759 OPS. It's a good September. It's not amazing. It's solid. So hopefully he stays on a roll now and doesn't start in the dumps. I do think the juice ball. I think the confidence from the bad 2020 and then the juice ball. I mean, we were looking at no home runs over like a long, like 6 home runs over like basically a whole season's worth of games from him. That's bad. So
DJ had the same itis. A couple of the Yankees had the same itis. So hopefully it's a little bit of balls and a little bit of a weird year.
I have 2 requests from Gleyber, or 2 things I'm on. Sure. One is an early home run.
Okay.
Just to get that bugaboo.
Can't see a 0 up there.
Off his back. And if he doesn't get the early home run, no home runs. Just like a 300 hitter.
Like it's in his rear view.
Like yeah.
9 homers, hits 3.
Not chasing power.
Yeah.
Because it's one or the other. Like, if he's just like, I don't care about home run, I'm not going to chase power. I'm going to hit the ball. Because that's what he said in an interview. He said, I was trying to pull the ball. I was trying to hit too hard. I have to go the other way. I have to just hit it, which is who you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where, his second half last year, those numbers, and I'm getting lost in his splits page, and I love it. It's getting me a little chalked up down there. What? 289, 338, 794 OPS. Like, yes, 6 homers in 50 games. What does that project to? If he played a full season, he's like an 18-homer guy. Yes. Like, the best Gleyber Torres probably could land around like a 2020 ball player, which is a great baseball player. So, as I keep going through the splits, Jim, I'm going to keep going through the splits. His best hitting stats last year in the 5th and 6th hole. Yep, fire me up. One of the weirder things, Jim, normally when we look at a player's page and they swing at the first pitch, usually those stats are high. Like, that means they jumped the pitcher, they saw what they were looking for. His first pitch stats are the same as after taking the first pitch, which is really weird. And think about how many times we talked about Gleyber Torres does that power swing early on in an at-bat. Maybe we put that in our rear view. Maybe that's not who you are, dude. It ties into everything we're talking about. I will say this, Gleyber, his 2 outs, runners in scoring position stats last year, really good. His late and close stats last year, really good. Because guess what? When Gleyber makes his approach
Bat to ball,
he's kind of like a special baseball player. There's not a lot of baseball players that have that. It's me playing blitzball. It's him playing baseball. You throw that curve, we're going to adjust. We're going to adapt.
Are you Nestor on the bump and Gleyber in the box?
On their best days, yes.
I got something to say.
Okay, I feel like I had one more.
Yeah, you were rolling.
I had one more split, but I think I lost it for now. Oh, Jim, you like this, and we noted this. The teams he was best against last year, the Boston Red Sox. 16 games, he had an 873 OPS. He's really good against the Mets. So, like, there's some boxes, and I think I mentioned the playoff numbers a minute ago. Go look at his playoff stats. Like, Gleyber Torres, I would love if we're sitting here in July and we're saying, boy, let's throw last year away and enjoy this guy again.
All those clutch stats, like you're saying, it's like when his mindset is, I just got to put the bat on the ball right now. He's great.
Because that's his skill.
Like you.
Barrels.
Not even. Just contact.
Barrels.
No, but for him, just contact. I don't need him to barrel it.
We barrel it.
I had something to say, but I forgot it.
Okay,
dude.
sorry.
All right, extra bases taken. I found it. I've been obsessed with this stat. Base running. The Yankees were so bad at it last year. He was up to 50% of the time. He got really aggressive the second half of the year.
Because he was trying to make up for everything else.
I know. But the Yankees, as a team, last year went station to station. They were like, we're slow as shit. We can't get the extra base. So much so that they were getting thrown out all the time because they just were running into outs and blah, 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 blah. They've noted that this is a problem. They said they need to fix it. Gleyber showed signs last year that he can steal a little bit. He stole 6 bags in like an 18-game stretch.
Yeah.
He took the extra base 50% of the time. That's a pretty high number. That's got to continue. And the Yankees can't stifle this because I don't even think it's him that would, like, the first half, I don't think I think they were telling everybody, hey, don't get caught out on the bases. That's not our game. That's not how we are. We're power. Like, we don't do it. And they've admitted that they need to change. So I'd like to see Gleyber. He's young and he's not incredibly slow. No. The sprint speed's slow because I don't think he ever sprints on the bases. Like, you know what I mean? He's not giving them the numbers to calculate how fast he can be. So I just would like some more aggressive base running because he showed he can do it.
Okay.
That goes across the board, but I think Gleyber's one of the guys that can actually do it every now and then.
And it really is a tricky balance. We've talked about it a lot. The Yankees catered to Gleyber a lot because he was a big-time prospect, and then guess what? He came up and he was special. I mean, look at those first 2 years for a baseball player. Not a lot of guys have that.
Can I say this?
Sure.
Because you know I'm cynical on prospects, and I want everyone to keep their expectations realistic.
Sure.
If Volpe turns into Gleyber, that's like a huge win. He's not even supposed to be close to what Gleyber can be as a pro. Gleyber was a 1 prospect overall, and his projections were like to be a stud shortstop. Volpe's numbers are not even to be that good. And like you have Yankees fans that are complaining about Gleyber, and it's like that's Volpe's like best case right now.
Right, but that would be really good.
It would be. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Fans put prospects up here, and then once they become players, the expectations change crazy.
Well, and hey, if Gleyber has a good year this year, the expectations will be right back up. It's where baseball's a sixth sport. It's why scouting prospects is ridiculous. It's why scouting players are ridiculous. Like, if Gleyber Torres has a 820 OPS again, people are going to be talking about him as a great young second baseman in baseball. Gleyber Torres shits the bed. It's going to be like, is this guy a part of Major League Baseball? So it's where baseball gets so freaking fucked up. It just fucking pissed me off. And the Gleyber scouting report, we remember, was the most ridiculous thing in the world.
It's a baseball player.
What's he good at? Oh, he's just good.
Just a baseball player.
Oh, okay. Thanks, scouts.
Just a baseball player.
Thanks, scouts. I've got a goal that I'm surprised I'm putting out there for Gleyber. Because in my head and how I normally operate, I'm a goalless man. Like, in theory, it should just be Gleyber Torres, go out, be good. Put the bat on the ball. Do my job. Joe's McFly.
Okay, what's your goal?
How about a 2020 season?
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
I know. I knew that was going to be too high of a bar for you, but I think what that does
I don't even
is
want him hearing those numbers.
Gleyber needs the high bar. If you treat Gleyber like a little kid and you say, hey, let's just get some hits this year, Gleyber goes in his shell.
I think the opposite.
If you give Gleyber too much love, if I said Gleyber should be a 40-40 guy, that's bad for Gleyber.
Well,
if you tell Gleyber he should just slap it around and play okay, I think Gleyber gets his head that way. Gleyber Torres is a very talented baseball player that needs somewhere to get to, and I think that would be a great one for him. He had 14 stolen bases last year. The Yankees had the dead balls. He had 9 home runs. I think that would be a good bar for him to shoot for, and if he lands at 18 and 18, that's still a really good place for Gleyber Torres to land.
I'd rather 270, 750 OPS is the things I'd look at. If he hits 10 home runs, he could still have a season that I'm very happy with.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty low bar. I think he's not playing if he has those numbers. Dude, he's fighting for time with DJ.
No, but I'm saying if I don't want to be judging Gleyber on his home runs at all.
Sure.
I think that's how he got in trouble last year, chasing the home runs instead of just trying to swing and put the ball in play. I'd love a ton of 2-strike hits and a ton of good approaches and bat to ball with some slugging. Like, I don't want empty batting average.
I guess that's the thing. I mean,
I need the slugging to get up to the 4s and the batting average to be in the 270, slugging in the 400s, and play all year.
I mean, that's just tough, especially if he's going to be fighting for playing time. I don't know if that's enough to be playing him over DJ or Rizzo or Donaldson. And
someone's going to get hurt. I mean, it's not like all those guys are going to be there all year.
Guys on the Yankees will get hurt. We don't know if it's the third baseman, second baseman, or first baseman, you know?
Yeah, but with DJ, if it's not Gleyber, he's playing.
Yeah, I think that's a dangerous bar, because then, I don't know, I think people could start getting loud again because they need more production out of him. Gleyber's supposed to be a top 5-6 hitter on this team.
But he was never supposed to be a home run hitter.
No, but a 750 OPS, that's not good.
Well, that was my lowest bar.
So what are you looking for then? Because I thought that's what you wanted. That's kind of how you delivered it.
No, it was my lowest. I don't want him under that at all.
I can't agree with that.
I thought that's how you said, like, you don't want 20.
No, I gave him a goal. I gave him a goal, and then you kind of matched with that.
That's the same thing. I mean, that would be like me turning around and say, you don't only want 20 homers? You don't want more?
Kind of. Yeah. Like, it's a
my goal is he has to get to 270, 750. Like, if he doesn't reach that, it's a bad season. I hope he goes above it, but that's the baseline of good season for me. Or like,
yeah, I don't know. I still got that a little low.
I mean, he was really bad last year and the year before it.
Right, but
like really bad.
So, dude, last year, we've told the story. The whole shortstop thing didn't work, right?
Yeah.
The second half, the numbers came out pretty good.
Like an abysmal first half.
Right.
go that July 17th through the end of the year, it's at least a lot better.
His 2020, the numbers in a bad year, 356 on base, a 724 OPS, and then he went nut job in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you combine his regular season and playoffs, which is 50 games, they're above that. So, like, I just think that bar or goal is.
I guess that's where we're different. My bar is that Gleyber's a good player because
I don't think that's a good player. I think that's the problem. I think 750 OPS and what he provides defensively and all around, that doesn't make him a good player.
I mean, that's what Kalefa does, and they just like went out and got him. So
I mean, Kalefa is a 600 OPS guy.
I know. Gleyber can be better. That's not like that bad. Gleyber's been so bad.
As a shortstop for the Yankees, yes.
Offensively.
Back-to-back bad offensive regular season.
I mean, the dude had a 720 OPS and a 697. I'm saying minimum 750.
Right, but you throw
I think
out,
it's a fair ask.
You throw out the 60-game season for a lot of guys. And especially when you add what he did in the playoffs, that was a kind of a Gleyber Torres 50 games.
I think
I had him traded 2 weeks ago. I had him as a bench player a week ago. Right. I can't now have him as a stud again. Like, I am slowly climbing up the ladder.
I think it's also because we threw out his 2020 when he had the stud playoff performance going into last year, but now when he was bad,
last year was a disaster.
So it's bad. It's just the combination because he continued badness.
The first half of last year was a disaster.
It's both times he went around, took however many games, and he found something, which is cool.
Because, like, even if he does...
I mean, he's mopey. I mean, I don't want to be, like, down. I'm surprised you're so up. Like,
if he does that...
I have a chance of him not being on the team.
Oh, if he does that, he's gone. That's the thing. So that's where... I guess when I was saying... I was setting a goal for him, like an achievement goal. I think that I'm looking for a bar that keeps him on the Yankees. And I don't think your bar keeps him on the Yankees.
I think it does. I mean, the Yankees have had some bad hitters the last couple of years.
Like, I think he's got to be like a 780 OPS guy to stick around.
As not a plus defender. Yeah, because at least we're comparing him to IKF a little bit. He's in theory a plus.
He's supposed to be a very good defender.
Yeah, I mean, guys, Rougned Odor played like all year last year.
Yeah, they played
part of the team
on purpose.
It was part of the problem.
Mike Ford got a ton of at-bats. Brett Gardner has been getting run. I know Brett Gardner's a good defender. I mean, the Yankees have run out. Like, it's not like unheard of that a 750 OPS infielder gets a lot of run.
Yeah.
Right. It would just be the end of Gleyber
I'd be
Torres,
requesting a little more, the bump up from that to be, like, satisfied. He'll still play at 750 OPS, but...
Yeah, I would hope then the next year then we get back to Gleyber.
We'll see. I guess that's why he's Gleyber Torres, and this is a big up.
This is a big season for him.
Important.
It's like a really big season for him. Having a good spring.
Having a good spring.
Random video, prediction, over, under. What do we got to do?
You got to get the random vid. We got to get the over under, babe.
Max's over under is an 800 OPS from him.
Under.
A little bit just
under.
811 OPS his last 50
I really do think the juice ball helped him a ton.
I'm going green. 800 on the nose.
Nice. Random video.
Rounds out to second baseman D. Gordon.
And Edwin, old friend.
What team is that? Seattle. Edwin in Seattle.
First half 2019.
Before he got traded, like right before he got traded, probably made the trade during that series. Here's just a ball. 0-2. Spat on it.
Good take.
Real good take.
96 outside.
That doesn't get into your head.
Okay.
Gleyber Torres has a chance to be one of the brightest spots of this Yankee season and one of the darkest spots in this Yankee season.
Yeah, I think an ask we always have is not to see like mopey pouty Gleyber.
Oh, yeah. Can't do it.
The baseball reference
25
projection.
Yes.
81% reliability, 761 OPS.
How much are they reliable?
81.
Wow.
It's a big number.
I'd love
17
to hear
homers.
the math that goes into that. Like, how do they do that? I'm sure it's
so
17
curious.
homers, 8 swipes. Give us something, buddy. Nobody really knows.
Yeah. Maybe he's making a quizzitive face.
Be a dad. Be a good dad.
Yeah.
It's a goal.
Tough that all the Yankees said they wouldn't want him to be the babysitter
Yeah.
as he's having a kid.
Tough.
That was tough, man.
Tough timing.
That was real tough.
Not great. Gleyber,